I traveled in three business class flights, international and domestic. And after spending more than 1.5 lakh rupees, I realized that my entire experience was, how do I put it delicately? Shit. I always wanted to try out the business class my entire life, and this was my first chance to do so. So you can see my excitement throughout the video. I tried to capture every single thing I loved about it, but only to find that the experience in almost all the flights was a complete shit show, especially towards the end of the journey. In this video, I have tried to capture the good, the bad, and the ugly about traveling in business class, whether it be the actual experience, whether it be the business class lounge or food, or each and every single mishaps that happened with me. I will continue to share my wow experiences of China on this channel, so do subscribe to it.
Hi everyone, I am at the Indore airport. I have just completed my security check-in and I'm going for the Air India business class launch.
So this was the invitation card to the launch from the Air India along with the boarding pass that was given to me. I had no idea where to go for the launch. And when I finally came to the launch, this is how crowded it looked like. It wasn't just business class, but even from your regular cards, you can access this launch. Finally, I found a place to sit. Now, my attention was all towards the food. After all, it might be one of my last meals in India, so I had to eat it. The food was a normal menu with rice, Manchurian, rasgulla, and of course noodles. So I had to try it out. Well, the noodles were quite good, but honestly, the rasgulla could have been a lot better. Finally, it was time to board the flight, and I was excited to see how the business class looks like. Because the journey was just getting started, I didn't know what was lying ahead of me. This is how the business class of a domestic Air India flight looked like. Instead of 3 seats, there were 2 spacious seats. There was a lot of leg room. You can be as comfortable as you want. You just have to share the seat with one fellow passenger. And just when I was wondering who will come and sit next to me, a weird coincidence happened. So, Sumit Chacha, who is a really close family friend of mine, actually was also traveling to Mumbai. And fortunately, he was the one whose seat was allocated right next to mine. And this was not at all planned. Finally, I landed at the Mumbai airport, and this is where things started to go wrong. So I was supposed to collect my baggage at the Mumbai airport, and finally it will transit to Guangzhou directly via Kuala Lumpur, but they handled it so incorrectly that the handle actually broke. And instead of giving it for a priority treatment, my baggage came at the very last. So they probably knew that they messed up. So after waiting for 1 hour for my bag, I finally launched a formal complaint with Air India that my baggage was not handled correctly and a claim is supposed to be settled on that. But well, what can you do? So it's time to move on to the next journey. My connecting flight to Kuala Lumpur is waiting. So this is where the fun began. At the Mumbai airport, the business class lounge was different from the normal lounges, which can be accessed through credit cards. Now, this was the Adani East Wing lounge. So as you come closer, and you're about to enter the Adani lounge, you can already feel the premiumness of this place. You have to show your invitation card to the person sitting at the desk who will show you the way in. And once you enter, it is mind blowing. So over to the right, you will see a bar, and over to the left and straight forward, you will see the food, the thing that I was most interested in. And it was mind blowing. All the drinks that you see are completely free. And the food is almost any type of Indian or English that you would like to have. Primarily, you can find a buffet that has almost all types of food. So it can have North Indian, South Indian, and man, don't you talk about desserts, because That was amazing. I haven't seen so many types of lizards previously. So after the paid puja, instead of going to the right, I decided to go to the left and discover this place. And this place was so much more comfortable with so many sofas and a spectacular view. This place even had a massage place, but unfortunately it was paid. So I said, forget it. Let's head towards the international business class flight. And it wasn't disappointing. This was so much more comfortable than the domestic Air India flight. This was the Malaysia Airlines, and this just gets better and better. There was a lot of dedicated legroom and a personalized TV screen which had Indian and Malaysian content. The seat was a massage equipped seat, so I got a lot of massage right, left, and center all across my back. You can see there are so many different features, and you can charge your phone over here. Air hostess was getting ready to serve the welcome drinks, which I was quite excited for. The seat next to me was empty all throughout the journey, so I didn't have any privacy issues. Anyways, I was planning to sleep during this flight after drinking my orange juice, of course. And the best part about this flight was that the seats can be completely 180 degrees, so you can make it your bed. Since I was so full after having my dinner, I just decided to skip the meal and just try out the paneer tikkas. After a very long flight, I landed at the Malaysia airport, and man, that Kuala Lumpur airport is just wow. It is actually built across the forest. So in the center, you'll see dense trees. And this was just fascinating. But it's time to have some breakfast and then head to the next flight. So this is how the Malaysian business class lounge in Kuala Lumpur looked like. This was again just very, very grand. You can get almost any type of breakfast over here, except for, of course, Indian. So, which means if you are a vegetarian, you probably don't have a lot of options. But there are a lot of different things that you can enjoy over here. For example, there are sleeping pods. There are a lot of comfortable seatings. You can enjoy a very beautiful morning view while watching the flights take off. And I decided to have something very light for breakfast. It's time to finally board the flight to Guangzhou. And there were a lot of people on this flight. But finally, the wait was over. And this was the third type of business class seats that I found. And this was very different from the previous ones. So if you can see, there's even a couch in the front to keep your legs. So you can see there was no one sitting next to me. So this was very similar to the previous one because this is also Malaysia Airlines. But the concept and the structure is very different. You can see all types of massage modes in the seat also. So I was roughly 4.5 kilometer above the ground and flying at the speed of 700 kilometer when I shot this video. And when I finally reached Guangzhou, there was a lot of immigration processes that I had to do. And it was finally time to go to the hotel. And it was a happy ending, right? But wait, I told you there was a lot of twist. So what was the twist? So the Murphy's Law says that if anything can go wrong, it will go wrong. And that is exactly what happened with me. So firstly, you have seen when I came from Indore to Mumbai, my baggage was severely damaged and I had to wait 1 hour, even though I was a business class and priority customer. My baggage was supposed to arrive first, but it came at the very end. When I finally arrived in Guangzhou, because both from Mumbai to Kuala Lumpur to Guangzhou was both Malaysia Airlines. So it was a connecting flight. I did not have to check in and get the baggage once again at the Malaysia. So I was again waiting at the Guangzhou airport for more than an hour, I would say. It was supposed to come first and it was supposed to be a priority baggage, but it never came at all. So along with me, there was another fellow Indian passenger who was also traveling in business class with me. And, we both were waiting together. We exchanged some conversations. And finally, we realized, hey, the baggage just stopped and they're probably not going to have any more baggage. So we went to ask what happened. And I had completely forgotten that this is Guangzhou. There's going to be a big language problem in China. I had been out of touch of Mandarin for a long time, and those people then speak a lot of English. So it was a different conversation altogether. So after talking to them, we realized that our baggages are still in Mumbai and they had not arrived at all. So they were supposed to arrive probably a day later or something like that. And this got me a lot worried. Okay. Because number one, they asked for my phone number for which they can call whenever the baggage arrived. And I did not have a phone number. My WeChat was not working so properly that I could just rely on WeChat. I did not know if I would be able to communicate with them or not. So that was a big problem for me. Luckily, another Indian person who was there has been sort of native of this place and he knew it really well. So I actually gave his contact number in my form and I stayed in touch with him through WeChat. So he had been very helpful in this entire process. But the main problem for me was food. All my food was basically, the ready to eat food that I had brought from India. And the ready to eat food are actually not allowed in the baggage that we carry with us in the flight. So you have to put it in the check-in baggage. Since all my food was in the check-in baggage, I did not have any meal with me at all. And being a vegetarian, it was very troublesome for me for that time. But thankfully, because I had some experience of China, I knew what to do, where to get, what to say, basically to get some vegetarian food. So I managed for some time. And finally, the luggage was supposed to arrive the next day. But again, it did not happen. I went to office. I completed my entire day. Thankfully, I had some spare clothes with me in my baggage. So that was not much of an issue, but it was a very troubled experience. So it was a long journey for me. It took actually more than 24 hours from Indore to Mumbai to Kuala Lumpur to Guangzhou. So it was more than 24 hours of restless night and troubled experience. So again, this was my experience. Your experience could be a lot different. My day wasn't just right that day. So if you want to experience it on your own, you can. But again, a lot of economy class passengers, they had their baggages with them, and we being business class did not have. So it does not matter if you are traveling from business class or economy class, you're still the same in the eyes of airlines. I will continue to share my experiences of China and my life and all the unique experiences like these. If you like this video, give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.